Hello, Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with a layout using the Cocoa Daisy Wayfarer collection. And you will notice that this is not a travel or beach themed photo. There is an overwhelming amount of tags and luggage tags and travel tickets and things like that in the Wayfarer collection. And I just knew that if they didn't get used, they would get cycled into my stash and I would never see them again. So I had this idea to instead create a off theme, or rather alternately themed page, using all of these tickets, not all of them, a bunch of these tickets, to create my own background. And like the concept of the page is like, wherever you go, my love will lead you home, kind of a thing. That's kind of the vibe I'm going for. So like the travel fits in. I really love this photo of my husband and my youngest. It's perfect for this. So I'm going to go with that theme. I really love the idea of this being its own solo background because it has that big compass and I just really love it. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to incorporate it and a title and everything and not cover it up so much that you can't tell what it is. So maybe I'll use that as the background, but I don't really want to. So I'm thinking about maybe doing this one because it will kind of go in with the theme. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna play around and figure it out because I really, really love this compass and I want to keep it the way that it is. And also, if I kind of do this simply over here, I can add a big title with all of the letters from this collection and maybe make it work. Because I really like the wherever you go, let my love lead you home sentiment with this. And I think I need to have the full title. We'll see. Okay. Okay. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to start my voiceover, start my thinking process, and let's go. All right, so this process video is a little bit longer because I really went to town on this layout, which I did on the last layout using this collection as well. I think it's a combination of I really love this collection, of course, but also the rub-ons take a long time, and what I did with this layout ended up taking a long time, and it turned into something much more involved than I initially planned, but it was so worth it. So you can see I ended up with this watercolor paper as the background. I really like that. I'm going to trim these down to the appropriate size before I get started, and then I'm going to just like create a pattern and layer these tags in a way that looks good, I guess. I'm just playing, just trying to see what fits where, making sure that I have a good color balance and like I don't have 5 red tags together or 5 peach tags together or whatever across the page. And then I haven't really settled on, like, I like the way that this looks, but it's like not standing out as well as I had hoped. Like the tags on the watercolor paper, I thought that they would just be more, like they would stand out better. And so I'm kind of struggling a little bit with making this look both cohesive and organic, because I want some of the tags and labels to sort of come off the bottom and come off the sides, and so I'm kind of struggling a little bit to make that happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start putting things down here in a second, and when I start to go put that Budapest tag down, I realize, what if I ink the edges? Like, obviously this collection has a sort of vintage vibe to it, vintage travel. So let's ink the edges of all of these luggage tags, all of these labels, and see what happens. And I'm going to skip through that process because it took a lifetime, but oh my gosh, you guys, look at this paper after I cut everything off. Oh, it came out better than I could have expected with all of those inked edges. It gave it that pop that I was looking for to make it look, or to make it stand out from the background page. It was just perfection, and it made me so happy. So I knew that I wanted to put my photo on this side now because I wanted a large area, a large blank area for that large title that I'm going to do. I was contemplating, like I didn't know what I wanted to do with the title yet or how I wanted to do it, and I was a little bit like, do I want to do all letter stickers? Because again, that's going to take forever, and that is what I end up doing. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this side, because while I'm contemplating what I want to do on the other side, I know what I want to do on this side. So I'm going to double back this photo because I liked the black. The photo is black and white. Obviously, there's a lot of black in the photo. So I liked the way that the black made the photo stand out from the background, and also brought in a little bit more of that black because there's not a lot of black in this collection. I'm going to ink the edge of this paper as well. It's going to become a theme. I don't do too much more because there's not a lot more that I put down that's going to need it, but everything gets the inking treatment that needs it on this page, which is really cool. So I've got this set up the way that I want, and I'm going to actually pop it up on pop dots, which ends up being a really good decision because I decide that I want more texture over here once I have once I have the photos down, and like once I start embellishing over here. So obviously I can't add a ton. I thought maybe I would add in an extra layer of tags. So I put down this JFK tag, and I almost immediately decide that it's just not what I want, because I don't like I think it ruins the background having that extra tag there. I didn't mind the way that it looked, the way that this label looked, because it had a nice blank spot on it, but I didn't love the way that the JFK tag looked. So I thought maybe I was going to add the date on this tag. So I'm trying to make sure that it's like, I don't know, you can still see enough of the white space that I can like add maybe a little bit of journaling, but I'm not quite sure where I want to put it. And I keep moving it around the page, and I end up putting it up here on the top, and I think I like that. I pulled out this gold anchor because I thought that it fit with the theme, like anchoring in love and that sort of thing. So I'm going to put this over this, and then I almost immediately don't like it, but it's going to stay because I put it down with liquid glue, and I didn't want to pull it back up. But it's okay because I'm going to cover up most of it here in a minute, and it works out. Again, I'm working with this liquid glue, and I'm putting the glue underneath the letters. It'll still be sort of visible, but the glue does dry clear, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm just going to put together right here at the bottom. I know it looks terrible with the glue not clear, but it will get there eventually. So I'm contemplating now, and I'm like, oh no, did I just ruin this page with that anchor? Let's put down some enamel dots. When in doubt, put down a dot. It's the doubt dots. That's what I should call them, doubt dots. When in doubt, put down the dots. It's not enough. It doesn't quite, like, it just kind of draws your attention to the anchor rather than remove your attention from the anchor. So that's no good. I'm going to leave them there for the moment. But what I end up doing instead is pulling in some twine. I pull out all of my cords. I decided none of those are right, so I pull out this twine. It's like jute twine that I use all the time. I love it so much. I'm glad I have that giant roll of it. And so I thought that this worked with the nautical vibe of this collection perfectly, sort of vintagey. So I'm just going to like wrap it up into like a little knot, and I'm going to use the tiny attacher to staple this together so that it kind of stays in that loop. And then I'm just going to use liquid glue underneath there and glue it down that way. I'm going to repeat the process again up here on the top, and that covers up most of that anchor. So now I don't hate it. Hooray. Just shove my glue down there and then shove everything in there. And then I'm actually up here on the top going to use another staple to staple down the side because it was sticking out the side there in a way that I didn't really like. So I'm going to pull it around and use the stapler to make it stay where I want it to stay. Maybe. I want to make sure I don't staple through that mat, so I'm kind of just shoving my stapler underneath it. Oh, I love the way that twine made that look. It's just, this layout just makes me go happy sigh. So now I'm going to start working on my title. And this was a pain in the butt. I end up having enough red letters for this entire title, except for I was missing one O. So I end up trimming down a Q to be an O, and it looks fine. Nobody's ever going to notice except me. So I'm going to do my love around this compass, and then I'm going to do the rest of the title in these red letters because it's a great contrast for the page. I am going to entirely skip this process. I think it took the longest of anything else in the whole page, but you're gonna get the point. I rearranged these letters so many times, and even when I was done, I didn't love it. I knew that I was not going to change it because it was too much. It was too much to pull back up. So I'm going to make it work, and I'm going to do that with a butt ton of rub-ons. I am using the heck out of these rub-ons. I used 1 million of them on my first page with this collection, and now I'm using up all of the ones that are like pictures on this page. I'm going to use some of these snippets from the other side to bring in those luggage tags to the other side of the page as well. Or, you know, they're not all luggage tags, but that's what I keep calling them. Put this circle up here, and I'm going to put this somewhere, but not right now. So part of the problem that I was having was that even though I was working my way around a specific item, which was that compass in the background, the overall effect of this page was very imbalanced. It was like not the look I was going for. But there was really no logistical way to rearrange this phrase and have it look good. So what I decided to do instead was to create more visual stimulus throughout this page with these rub-ons and these luggage tags. I also wanted to sort of incorporate the rub-ons and the title themselves like into the title so that everything sort of looked like it was all part of one coherent project rather than letter stickers sitting on top of this page. So I'm just doing that by layering the rub-ons on themselves, layering them on tickets and tags, layering them on the letters themselves. And I really need to bring in the right-hand side up there. I need to box that in a little bit more to get some more balance. I kept trying to incorporate that JFK tag, but it was just too bold for the look that I wanted over here. I'm willing to add more phrases on the title side, but they can't be distracting, and that JFK tag was distracting. I knew I wanted this geotag that said here and now. I cut off the side and then put it lower on the edge so it visually it lines up still, but the tag isn't hanging off the edge of the photo. I decided to put a rub-on on that tag that I initially put up there, just creating some more depth with all of these rub-ons, using them as texture and highlight around the page rather than specific design. So they're complementary, they're not the focus of the page, and it worked out really well. I just kept going until it felt right. You'll see me towards the end kind of pull myself back, rein myself in, and go, oh, okay, we're done now, and anything else is going to make it worse, right? It's going to ruin it. I love it. So you can see I'm slowly working in from the edges, bringing the composition into the center, and I still am not loving all the blank space. So I'm going to do some controlled splattering, and I'm not even kidding you guys. I took pictures of this layout before I did this because I just knew in my heart I was going to screw it up, but I did not. It came out so perfectly, and you will see my happy dance, my happy finger dance at the end. I was so ecstatic that this was like the perfect touch. It really brought the whole thing together and filled in that blank space without adding too much more visual stimulus. So that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Tracy M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well. There's a link to Cocoa Daisy in the description box below, and I will see you next time. Thank you.